Let's begin by queering up politics. Psychologist Mary Trump explains in 7 words why LGBTQ plus is not crazy on Trump, Iowa, and the caucus. Mary Trump, the out lesbian niece of Donald Trump and a clinical psychologist, made a cutting observation about Iowa Governor Kim Reynolds and by extension all Republicans. Mary recently shared a clip of Reynolds talking to Fox News' Neil Cavuto. The clip shows Reynolds claiming she would support Donald Trump if he wins the primary, despite Trump insulting her just prior to the caucuses for supporting Florida Governor Ron DeSantis. The reason behind this support? Well, winning at all costs. Psychologist Mary Trump summarized this behavior aptly in her post that read, quote, Exhibit A, that Republicans have no principles, end quote. With this powerful 7-word statement, Mary Trump has revealed the complex dynamics and ideological shifts that currently shape the GOP.
When I spoke to Nikki Haley this morning at a diner, I love talking to people in diners, by the way. We should do this again at a diner.
I know,
but
me too.
One of the things I learned from her is that, look, if it comes down to Donald Trump as the nominee, I'll support him. I'll support whoever our nominee is. Do you share that view? Does the Governor DeSantis, share that view?
Well, you'll have to ask Governor DeSantis that, but I've made it clear that I will. I'm a Republican, and, all of the candidates running are going to be better than what we have.
All the stuff he said about you?
Well, because, we've got to win. We are a resilient people. This country is in trouble. Look at the southern border.
I talked to a lot of people at that diner, Governor, who said, no, this isn't worth it. To go to Trump, no.
Yeah, well, people are going to I just think, too, when you look at the direction of the country, I believe it's going to be Ron. So I believe
But if it were Trump and Biden, you, the governor, a very popular governor, would go.
I'm on record saying that and consistently saying that. I'm a Republican, and we need to make sure that we don't reelect President Biden for another 4 years.
Against this backdrop, she provides some assurance to the LGBTQ plus community that they are not crazy after Iowa results came out. 82% of Iowa evangelical Christians voted for Trump. That is a near 50-point gain since the 2016 Iowa caucus. The queer community asks if we are crazy. How can the most radical of Christians support the man that will go down in history as the most morally deviant president in history? Especially true when they could have voted for alternatives. Kate Ellis, president of GLAAD, helped make that point. She said, quote, the results in Iowa show urgency and clarity for voters who believe in liberty and justice for all. No one should forget that Donald Trump led more than 200 attacks in policy and rhetoric against LGBTQ Americans with enablers in Congress and the courts, stripping fundamental freedoms from every American, end quote. Let's begin by talking about Miss Mary Trump. First of all, give her huge kudos.
Absolutely.
Huge kudos. I love that she's an openly out lesbian. I love that she's outspoken. Yeah. I love that she's outspoken having to walk around with a name like that.
Exactly.
Okay? The fact that last name is a part of her name is hard enough, all right? I also do believe that Mary Trump is the smartest person in that whole entire family. All right? Saying that, it's scary shit, but it's the truth. Republicans don't care. They have no morals. Republicans have no principles. It is win at all costs, and you even heard it from her mouth. They don't give a crap that Republicans don't want us to breathe or all the anti-LGBTQ plus bills, rhetoric, etc. They don't care. At the end of the day, like she said, I'm a Republican. That's how I have to vote. So who cares about morals, correct? We're not crazy, LGBTQ. We are not.
No, we're not. And, I think that the fact that she stands up to him when he is such a bully to everybody. I imagine that, when they were younger, they probably disagreed on a lot of things too. But she really puts it out there in a way that is real. And, it's true what she says. I know that there are a lot of Republicans, certainly not the majority, who are moving away from the party because of this. But those that are staying, that minority, that 30-40% are not budging.
The morally deviant deplorables.
The basket
They're
of
still here.
deplorables.
Yes, they're still here.
Where the party is just, it's so unrecognizable. And I've said this before. In 2012, Mitt Romney was our worst case scenario. Right. My God, we were freaking out about that.
Romney
You're
now.
right.
Yeah. And now we're this. Politics has always been a rough and tumble sport. And a lot of people say that we're on the verge of a civil war. And I don't think that's 150 years ago was just a very different situation. But it reminds me more of the early 1850s, the Kansas-Nebraska Act, and when they were deciding whether it would be okay to have enslaved people just for being born here in Kansas and Nebraska. And there was so much violence. The militias, wow, exactly the same word, would go in and murder people at night. That's really, I think, the more apt comparison. It's frightening, and if it's not true, it's very close to being true.